over 3.5 years ago shattered the daily lives of Ukrainians across the country. With many schools destroyed, children and teachers alike have been displaced, upending education. NHK Road's Sekiya.Satoshi explains how educators in Japan and Ukraine are working together to overcome the crisis.
About 130 people from Ukrainian universities to Japanese government agencies have gathered here at Saitama University. The school has long worked with Professor O.Nikolenko of Ukraine's Poltava National Pedagogical University. She and her daughter, Associate Professor Katerina, came to talk about the problems facing their education sector. They showed how 1 in 7 schools across Ukraine has been destroyed. More than 2,700 children have been killed or seriously injured. They say students have also been scattered, with millions displaced within Ukraine and abroad. According to a survey conducted with Saitama University, it's all taking a toll on teachers' mental health.
According to the results of our survey in early 2024, 53% of teachers experienced distress. This is a difficult condition. Teachers often feel anxiety, fear, and a loss of strength and energy. In October 2024, this condition worsened by 5%. 57.9% of teachers reported a deterioration in their mental health.
Professor Nikolenko said it goes to show how educators need more help.
Ukrainian teachers are real heroes, but heroes also need psychological support and useful practices to restore their mental health.
D.Zhao.NHK, a psychology expert and associate professor at Saitama University, has been working with Nikolenko's team. For over a year, D.Zhao has hosted regular online workshops for Ukrainian teachers. She uses psychotherapy techniques to help them cope with stress and anxiety. Morita therapy, developed in Japan, has been used to treat post-traumatic stress disorder in refugees. The hope is to help the Ukrainians find a way to live with anxiety and fear instead of being overwhelmed by them.
Morita therapy says it is important to recognize your own feelings. There are times when people are so overwhelmed they can't even do that. So we are always discussing what the best path forward is with the Ukrainians.
I'm thinking to engage in educational job in my near future. So that was a great opportunity for me to learn.
I realized how difficult it is for them to survive amid the situation in Ukraine. And I also learned how important hope can be to overcome that pain.
Now, for more on this, I'm joined by our reporter, Sekiya.Satoshi. So the survey has found that nearly 60% of teachers said their mental health is deteriorating. Can you give us an idea of what they are dealing with?
There was one workshop in particular that really showed the depth of the problem. A few months ago, D.Zhao held a session with teachers in Zaporizhia. As you know, that region has seen some of the world's worst fighting and nighttime survival, when they are hoping just to live another day. One described the terror of living and the constant rocket fire. Another said they are tired and burnt out, struggling to control their emotions. On top of all that, teachers are also responsible for their students' well-being.
So how have these Saitama University workshops helped?
Some teachers said that meetings gave them more confidence in themselves. They also said talking about their situation helped them stay steady in tough times. Nikolenko told me she and her team have seen the changes firsthand.
We noticed that the teachers were more open, they started being more positive, they started looking for things that inspired them and gave them the will to live. So we noticed the positive effects of Japanese therapy for Ukrainian teachers.
It's not the only initiative targeting mental health. There is also a nationwide program. It's called How Are You? And offers expert advice online. The website also helps Ukrainians find mental health professionals and provides tips for self-care. It has called the fight against trauma an invisible front line. They must win. She said mental health care is their best weapon. The Japan International Cooperation Agency has been supporting the initiative. It welcomed Ukrainian officials and experts to Japan earlier this year to consult with specialists here.
Right. But as the fighting drags on, I imagine it takes quite a toll. Are there any signs things might be getting better?
Well, some schools have started in-person classes again. These students from Mariupol had been studying online. In September, they gathered in a classroom in Kyiv for the first time in over 3 years. This school in central Ukraine was also able to resume in-person classes. In a video shown at the symposium, students and teachers there share their hopes for the future.
Я мрію, щоб війна закінчилась, та щоб мій папа приїхав з війни, та ми поїхали на наше українське море.
Моя мрія, щоб було все добре і не треба було ходити в підвал, щоб
не було сирени. Війна руйнує все. Вона руйнує будинки, дороги, плани, але не може зруйнувати людське прагнення до знань.
Even during war, schooling continues in underground classrooms and shelters across Ukraine. Many are worried about preserving their language, culture, and traditions. Teachers say in-person classes will not only keep education going, but will give citizens hope that their communities can be rebuilt.
Thank you for this. That was NHK World's Sekiya Satoshi.